Elkanah and Hannah loved and feared the Lord, but they were childless. Elkanah's lack of faith in God when he decided to marry Peninnah brought about much unhappiness in the home. Despite being taunted by Peninnah over her childless state, Hannah remained faithful and brought her earthly cares to her heavenly friend.
Casting all your care upon him, for he cared for you. 1 Peter 5 verse 7. God rewarded Hannah's faith with a child whom she named Samuel, which means, because I have asked him of the Lord.
Hannah had made a vow to God, saying, Lord Almighty, if you will look on your servant's misery and remember me, not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life, and no razor will ever be used on his head. 1 Samuel 1 verse 11. Hannah brought Samuel up to love and fear God. She taught him many important lessons.
To be humble and perform his duties to the best of his abilities and with a willing heart. To regard himself as God's servant and his work as God's work.
To love God with all his heart and have a strong desire to do his will. Hannah dedicated Samuel to the service of God, leaving him to be trained and brought up by Eli at the temple. Samuel grew up to be a faithful servant of God.
After reading the story of Samuel, I think that Samuel is a faithful and loving disciple of God, as he is in an unfriendly environment but did not do bad things like Eli's sons. I can learn from Samuel to be faithful and to be a disciple of God and not fall for Satan's temptation. I will make time to read the Bible and pray to God, although I have a busy schedule. Like Samuel, whenever I face problems, I remember to pray to God and ask him for help.
After reading through the story of Samuel, I think that he must be really faithful while living in an unfriendly environment. We should consecrate our hearts and lives to God. In my opinion, we should be strong and not be deceived by the devil.
After reading the book of Samuel, I see Samuel as a great role model. Even though times was hard for him, and that he was surrounded by Eli's evil sons, he stayed faithful and persevered. I'm really grateful to have two loving parents just like Samuel. Because of them, I was able to have a great childhood. Samuel was a hard worker, and because of that, he was able to become a priest. I hope that my hard work pays off like Samuel.
I think we should all be as faithful as Samuel and apply it in our daily lives. Because even though Samuel was surrounded by Eli's evil sons, he still remained faithful to God and always believing in him. Everyone can be as faithful as Samuel. Even though his parents did not take care of him, he still persevered and trusted God. And I hope everyone here can be as faithful as Samuel.